We are releasing the convex version assets officially today, and I wanted to quickly introduce you to why we build it, what problem it actually solve. We've built this AI-powered book reader that has a lot of assets basically that we have to track. And we have videos, we have images, we have music, and previously we would have this all on Cloudflare R2, which is great because it's very, it gives very fast downloads, and it costs nothing to transfer the data to the client, the users. But managing the files was difficult. It was difficult to write a good editor that would update the files there. So we had this GitHub workflow where we were actually using Git and LFS. So our editors would have to push files to Git, and then the workflow would push it to R2 to like a different version for every book, because you cannot just reuse the same file name because things would get cached, and it was a mess. So we figured that actually Convex, since it's reactive, would allow us to build a very nice editing experience. And if we can connect it with R2, we would get the best of both worlds. So we build this convex component that allows us to very easily do things like this, where we basically where we can have different kind of data. We can even have like HTML files with music, we have backgrounds, and we can specify what goes where. And yeah, so this is the problem that we solved, and we figured that we would make this open source and installable for others. And I'll show you how easy it is to create a new project that would use this library. Video demo, create a new Vita application. We'll use convex auth for this demo. Create new project, video demo, cloud deployment. All right, all set. So it will open the default application here. Now we'll add convex version assets. You have to specify the version. Now we do convex version assets, and we'll do setup. It noticed that we don't have GitHub setup, so I let him create git init and commit. I'm creating admin email. Adding dependencies, and I will let it set it up with Tanstack route and some basic routes for the demo. And we also have a very generic admin panel that I think will be very useful to keep in the application. Okay, so now we see that things were pushed to Convex. This is our little demo, and just to show you what's going on, let's also go to the admin panel here. And we need to create an account, and if we create the account using the same email that we set up as an admin, then we'll have access to the admin panel. Let me do one more thing, actually. We have a package that will also sync all the things that are pushed to the storage to a local folder, which is very, very handy for agents to see what's happening, but also for just being able to quickly navigate through the different folders and files, even without going to the admin panel. All right, so this is all set up. This will be running in the background for your project. So even after restarting your laptop. So this is very, very handy, at least for us in Book Genius, when it's very easy to see all the different assets for different books. Okay, and this is a very simple demo. Let Let me just open the versioned assets here just to show you what's actually happening. So what are we doing? So this shows an example where we can, of course, very simple thing, upload some image. It's got a version assigned to it. So now this URL opens this image, right? And then if we upload a different image to override this one, then you can see that it changed. And now the same link that we had, if we reload, it loads a different image. So that tells us that you can use this URL as stable version basically, but you can also use versioned ones if you want to link and make sure that nothing changes here. And now inside our versioned assets, you can see that it actually updated. Let's try this again. So if I now create a new version once again, you can see that it propagates like this. And another thing that's very easy to do now is that we can add R2 to all this. So now if I just go to env local, I already have this set up. I have a video where I show how to configure it in Cloudflare, but basically you have to get the keys and endpoints, and don't worry, I will be deleting the key before publishing the video. So if I have set up that, then I can do the R2 setup. And this is all you have to do. So now new uploads are actually saved to R2, which is much cheaper and much faster because it automatically gives you the CDN. So, okay, but what about the images that we already had? They would still load from convex storage, right? So we have a script here, setting up R2, where you can just call migrate all to R2, and then you'll see that things just migrate. So the different versions migrated. So we had one thing, seemingly, but you are able to revert to different version, right? And to do that, you have to be able to have all the files, of course, saved somewhere. All right, one more thing. I realized that I haven't showed the code at all. Of course, it's gonna be very useful to just create a simple project, open Cloud Code, and send a link to documentation, and just ask questions and play around with it. Definitely something to take into consideration is that you'll have to create your own authorization and authentication patterns. You have to decide what can admins do and what can users do that are public, what is public, what's alt basically, and what's admin responsibility. And in Book Genius we have a layer where we decide whether a book belongs to a given user, so people cannot change each other books. And the admin panel, I just realized that just looking at the log, it could feel like, oh, we are just creating a bunch of things, but this is very tiny change that we've done in the Vita. So admin actually is just imported from the package with the styles, and it's just as at a route. And then the demo, it's kind of messy and longer, because I don't expect you to actually use that that's the first thing to remove, but it just shows some patterns, how to upload, how to get a version, how to iterate over files.